welcome to my keto kitchen. I'm Victoria. Today I want to show you guys how to make a pie crust, the most delicious, perfect, beautiful. It does not burn. I remember when I started here on my channel, I made a pie crust and it almost turned black. We are past that. We're not going to do that again. Let me show you guys how to make Victoria's Keto pie crust with Victoria's Keto flour. It is so easy. The machine you're going to need is a food processor. This will blend everything together perfectly and give you a smooth, fluffy pie crust. So let's get started. The first thing that we need is 1 cup of Victoria's Keto flour. This is 82 grams. The link for how to make my flour is always in the description box below. Next, we need 2 tablespoons of your favorite sweetener. I'm using Truvia. You do not have to add sweetener. I want sweetener because I'm actually going to use this pie crust to make a caramel pie. So I do want my crust to be sweet. This is optional. If you want a sweet crust, add the sweetener. If you don't, then don't. We need half of a tablespoon of baking powder. Lastly, a pinch of salt. Okay, I'm going to close this, let it mix up just for a second. There we go. That's all I needed. All right, now to this, I need cold cubed butter. I have cut 1/3 of a cup, so this is 1/3 cup of cubed butter, and I put this in my freezer for about 15 minutes to make sure it was very, very cold. So I have cut this into cubes, and I am going to put this in the food processor on top of all the flour. Perfect. All right, I'm going to close that. So I'm going to turn this on high. I'm going to let it begin to mix. While it is mixing, I'm going to drop 1 tablespoon of ice cold water in the top, and that will cause it to form into a ball of dough. So let's do this. Perfect. In order to get this to turn into a dough, it took 3 tablespoons of ice water. Watch it yourself. Pour it in 1 tablespoon at a time while it's mixing up. Remember, while the blades are mixing, that butter is softening up. So, I have my wax paper here. I am going to get this dough out. All right, with clean hands, I am going to form this into a ball, and then I am going to press it down. Look, it turns into a beautiful ball of dough, just beautiful ball of dough. Okay. I'm going to press it down with my cast iron skillet. Okay, next I am going to roll this out to the size of the pie crust that will fit into my cast iron skillet. I actually want to make this caramel pie in my cast iron skillet. Almost there. I'm going to carefully take the paper off, and I am going to spread flour on the top to prevent it from being sticky. I do not want this to be sticky. Okay, so I'm going to take this, place it on a cookie sheet. I'm going to put this in my freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. I want it to come off of this wax paper from the bottom, and sometimes it likes to stick because it's a little bit sticky. So the best thing to do is put it in the freezer, make sure it re-hardens up, then we can take the parchment paper off of the bottom. So I'm gonna put this in the freezer. I'll be back in about 15 minutes. Okay, so I noticed that after 10 minutes, it was pretty much staying on its stiff on its own. So I laid out a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to flip it just like that, and then I am going to slowly just peel off this side. Oh, and I broke it. That's what you don't want to do. Go slow so that you do not break it. Okay. But if you break it, not a problem. Just squish it back together. Now I've got to get this. I have greased this skillet. So, oh, it slides. Okay. All right. There we go. And you can see that I broke it. That's not bad. Just squish it back together. Oh, that's not bad. All right. It's a really beautiful sized pie crust. You see that? There we go. And then you can just make it look as good as you can. I'm sure all of yours will look 10 times better than mine. Here we go. That's just how I tend to do it. I like to put it in the freezer so that I don't break it, but then I do break it. So there we go. That was really easy, and I'm sure all of you know how to do it way better than I do, but that is the recipe for a delicious, burn-proof, it's not going to burn on you, pie crust. And hopefully my next video for you guys will be a caramel pie that I am making with this pie crust, and I wanted to do it in a cast iron skillet. So please join us next week. It's either going to be next Friday or the Friday after for the caramel pie. We shall see. I am considering changing up my schedule instead of every Friday to the first Friday of every month and the third Friday of every month. I have had 3 seizures in the last few weeks, 3 grandma seizures, which is, it's a lot. I'm doing a lot right now, and for my health's sake, I'm probably going to have to back off an every Friday video for a while. We'll see, but got to try and get these seizures at bay. So for now, hope to see you guys either next Friday or the Friday after with a keto caramel pie. We're going to use this pie crust. I'll show you how to bake it. Oh, that's a good thing. How to bake this. Okay, if you are going to put something in this pie crust and it doesn't need to be baked, then you need to bake the pie crust by itself for 8 minutes at 350 degrees. That's the baking instructions. Now, if you are going to put something in it that has to bake, bake it for however long the recipe calls for it. This thing should not burn on you unless you use allulose as a sweetener. If you use allulose and you put it in this pie crust, then you may burn it. Just stay away from allulose when it comes to baking if you don't want to burn your food. So, baking instructions for this again is 350 degrees for 8 minutes, or whatever you put into here, bake it for whatever the recipe says. This pie crust should be perfect. Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Go over to Facebook if you want, post pictures, tell me what you make. Tell me what you do with this. I hope you all have a blessed and a Merry Christmas, but I should see you at least one more time before Christmas. So, thank you guys for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and you all have a blessed day.